Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video today on the channel, and today is a very special kind of video today. Now this is the magical week we're finally going to get to see Ant-Man Quantumania. The film comes out on Friday, I'm very excited for it, but I thought since it's fast approaching, why not we review the past two Ant-Man movies that we've gotten over the years, and I just give you a revisited view. We can talk about them, things I like, some things I don't like. It's going to be a fun video I think, because I'm going to be honest, I love these movies. These two movies have a unique place in my heart where I still remember watching them in theaters, I remember that, and two very good occasions on that. I had a really good theater experience at both times, but they actually hold a very personal connection to me, mainly being the very first Ant-Man, which we're going to talk about today. But if you've been living under a rock, Ant-Man was directed by Peyton Reed. It came out in the magical year of 2015, and it stars such people as Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michael Pena. This film is about Scott Lang, an ex-convict who's released from jail and really wants to spend time with his daughter. And the core of this film is really him trying to reconnect with his daughter that he has had no years with. He's been in prison for all the time. So when an opportunity has arisen from Hank Pym, a genetic researcher who experiments with Pym particles, which are particles that can make one shrink, Scott takes this opportunity and performs a heist with him to potentially save the world and reconnect with his daughter in the process. Now, I'm sure everyone has already seen this movie. If you're watching this and are a Marvel fan like me, you've probably seen this movie, but I really wanted to talk about this movie because, like I alluded to, this movie's really special to me. Because I remember, this is one of the movies, I remember, it was about, I think it was 2016 actually. Me and my friends were all watching in my cabin, and I was the only Marvel fan in my group for a while. They all know this, they would all tell you the same thing. And during this time we watched Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and that day we had actually seen Captain America Civil War. Now these three movies kind of made me who I am today, being a huge Marvel fan. It kind of just helped that, because these three movies really got my friends sucked in the whole Marvel fandom and stuff. And it's a really special movie to me, just for that alone, that it got all my friends hooked on this world and this cinematic universe that's just so damn special to me. So I thought it'd only be right to review this movie. And after rewatching this movie for this video, I still adore this movie. This movie is honestly still one of my favorite Marvel movies. I guess there's a little bit of bias there, but I still really like this movie. Every element about it I really, really like. And I'm actually going to talk about some of the pros first, and then I'm going to talk about some of the cons, even though there's not that many, spoiler alert. But the first thing I do want to say is Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is just amazing. Like, I love him to death. He's by far one of my favorite actors, and by far my second favorite actor in the MCU. Chris Evans will always be number one, but he is still super high up there. I love him so much, and I love Scott Lang. Scott Lang is just a super charismatic and likable character. You understand his struggle that he goes through, or just being a man who wants to spend time with his daughter, who knows that he's messed up in the past, but wants to make up for it and just give his daughter that proper childhood. And that way I think this character is very sympathizable. That alone it gives it such a grounded feel. It makes it so relatable because it's true. It's a very simple motivation. And it honestly leads to a lot of really emotional points in the movie where you just see him slowly struggle with the fact that this is going to be a lot harder than I think to actually do this, to reconnect with my daughter, because all these people are telling me that I'm someone that I'm very clearly not anymore, and I'm trying to be better, and it just makes for such a great character. I also really love the message of second chances in this movie, because I am one of those people that I believe certain people are worthy of redemption. There are. This world isn't completely dark and gray. There are times where people can completely change and become better people, and I do truly believe in that. I do believe in that. Another thing I really love about this movie is basically peak Marvel, when Marvel knew how to balance comedy with action and drama. Like, there are so many moments in this movie that still have me dying with laughter every time I watch them, mostly coming from Paul Rudd and Michael Pena, who's amazing in this movie. He's so funny, which could be kind of debatable among some people, but hell, I find him funny, so whatever, that's my opinion.
Hey, how's your girl, man?
She left me.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom died too. And my dad got deported. But I got the van.
It's nice.
But it's so well done in this movie, and the action and the comedy is so just well put together, and it doesn't make it feel like it's cheesy, it doesn't make it feel like almost like it's annoying, which some Marvel films, unfortunately this time, have major problems with, like Love and Thunder. That is a really big problem with that movie, and this is just the simpler time when they knew what they were doing when it comes to this, and they could perfectly balance all these different elements, and also just be funny and just be a compelling drama in general. A thing I also really like about this movie is how disconnected it feels from the rest of the MCU. This has been kind of, I guess you could say, a complaint by some people. I completely disagree, honestly. I think Peyton Reed did the good thing in this movie of making this film sort of disconnected from everything that came before, because it makes it feel more grounded, and it makes it feel like there's more breathing room to do some interesting things, and just be a more close to home story. And I think it really helps, and I think it really succeeds in that as well, because it just makes you feel warm. It makes you feel good. This is definitely, in my opinion, a pick-me-up movie. There's so much stuff in this movie that just makes you feel good. There are so many plot points that just make you feel things. You get sucked into the characters, you get sucked into this world, and you just love them. You honestly just love them. I love every single person in this movie because they're just all so likable. And that's one of the rare feats in this movie, is that everyone is likable except the villain, which I'm going to talk about the villain later. This movie also has some of my favorite action scenes in the MCU period that I think are highly underrated. The train scene where they're all small and it's kind of taken from the perspective of them being this grand ensemble, and then it will pan out to, you know, literally nothing, just two really small figures fighting, and it doesn't seem epic at all. Another scene I really love too is Ant-Man when he's sort of like breaking into this facility and he like runs up a gun and he's like running on the barrel, and it's just, oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm gushing about it because I love it so much. And the effects definitely hold up. I did rewatch this movie and they look 10 times better than half of the Marvel movies we've gotten this year. Like, it's kind of shocking how good this movie looks compared to newer films. And it's just, oh my god, it looks so good. The Ant-Man suit looks fantastic. The Yellow Jacket suit looks fantastic. Everything just looks great. Like, it just feels like it's such a well put together movie. I really like the soundtrack as well in this movie. It's very energetic, it's very fast, and it really gets you sucked into the moment of what's happening, especially in these great action sequences. It's just fantastic. I love that element of the movie, and it really just helps to make certain scenes pop out more. But of course, there is one con I have with this movie, and you're all gonna expect it. It's just kind of a Marvel thing. It's kind of sad, honestly, because this is a super cool character. Like, visually, the Yellow Jacket is one of the coolest designs in terms of a suit, I think, in the MCU. I absolutely love its design, but the character, nope. Corey Stoll plays Darren Cross, and he's not necessarily the worst villain I've ever seen in my life, but he's definitely not the best. He has a very mediocre motivation. It's more or less just living in someone else's shadow and trying to break out of that shadow, and once he realizes that he's not going to be able to, he just goes full-blown crazy. He has a power complex, so, you know, he's just the businessman who kind of wants to make money and just wants to be better than Hank Pym. And it really doesn't make her a very good villain. It's very mediocre and surface level. There's nothing really to his character besides what I just said to you, and that really sucks because everything surrounding him is really awesome. The actor's great, the suit's great, his action scenes are friggin' awesome, and just the character itself just really doesn't work. Like, it just sucks, honestly. And honestly, I really wish they could have just taken that and made him more compelling, because honestly, if they would have made him more compelling, this movie would pretty much be a 10 out of 10 for me, just from personal bias. And I guess there are certain little things I could complain about that I'm not going to get into because I don't want to. I love this movie. This movie is fantastic to me. It is probably the most fun I've had revisiting a Marvel movie in a while. Oh my god, I love it, I'm gushing about it, and that is why I'm going to give Ant-Man a very solid 9 out of 10. I love this movie. This might be personal bias, but I just think there are so many things in this movie that work. There's so many things that actually hold up compared to other Marvel movies, and I just love it. But anyways, if you like what you saw here, please like and subscribe down below for more content on the channel coming pretty soon. I'm going to be making an Ant-Man and the Wasp review coming pretty soon, immediately after this video pretty much. So if you're interested in that, please stick around and I'll see you all next time. So yeah.